Let's suppose for just a moment that a 10 is considered the best high school band ever, and they're making it to state and they're winning all kinds of competition. They have the respect of every director in their area, and that is a 10. Well, I'm here to tell you that it takes just as much work to take a band from a 9 to a 9.2, for example, as it does to take a band from a 1 to a 7. But the 7 is not going to get as much respect as the 9.2 or the 9, even though it took just as much work to get there. When I started at a high school I spent 13 years at, I started there in 2005, and I was the 8th director in 7 years. It was a crazy story, the turnover that they had there. In fact, my fellow band teachers were all telling me, James, are you crazy? Why are you going out there? That's a place where your career is going to die. Well, I took them from a 1 to a 4 the second year, and then maybe a 6 or 7. And then our improvements started being more incremental, maybe from a 7 to a 7.5, and then a 7.5 to an 8. But it was kind of amazing to see how much people could notice the non-band people is what I'm talking about. So the people who had been at the school for a long time and had seen those 8 directors in the 7 years, they were amazed to see us go from a 1 to a 3 and 3 to a 5, or whatever number you want to put on what we did. But then when we went from a 7.5 to an 8, nobody noticed. And then as the staff started to retire and leave, and I was on my 4th or 5th principal after about the same number of years, it felt like, then people were just used to the band being at an 8. And to go from an 8 to an 8.05, they didn't know the difference in that. They just know that, hey, our band sounds pretty good. They're doing pretty good. They're doing halftime shows and that sort of thing. So what I'm telling you is to make sure that you're looking at how your band is progressing and not necessarily looking at what other bands are doing. They have their own struggles. They have their own things that they're working on. Keep being persistent in the things that you know are needed to grow a program. Keep learning. I found throughout my 13 years there at that school, we actually even made it to a point where marching band made it to state, and the concert band had made it to the state competition. We didn't place in any of those, but we made it to that point. But I found that over that 13-year span that I was there, I found myself going to different sessions at our professional development conferences than I did at first. Because at first I was all about tuning and warm-ups that I didn't have in my bag of tricks. And then later on it was instrumentation, recruiting, and different things like that. Be open. And then also, I mentioned this already, but realize that different bands have different struggles. I was once going into the bathroom at the same time as a fellow director who I highly admire. He's admired all around town. He's actually retired now. And I said, how are things going? And he was slightly discouraged that particular day because he was talking about how some parents, if there was just a little slip in his program, which was an excellent program, I would say the best in the city, but if there were just a little slip in the program, parents would be saying, "Oh, is Mr. losing his edge? Is he losing it a little bit?" And so he had a lot of pressure to keep it at that 9.4 level or whatever that he was at. It was literally the best middle school band in our city, in my opinion. So be persistent and keep working and realize different people have different struggles. If you'd like to hop on a coaching call with me, you'll find the scheduling link in the show notes, and just click on that and hop on for a free coaching call. I love helping younger teachers.
The Music and Podcast, where you get quick and easy tips for how to be a better band